Hey folks, welcome back to the second email seminar in our beginner marathon seminar series. Today I'm talking about the ideal beginner marathon timeline. As I mentioned in my previous video, it's very easy to sign up for a race and get excited about it right out of the gate. And that's part of racing, signing up for those races and feeling that shot of adrenaline. But you have to understand as a beginner athlete that the time that elapses between when you sign up and when you actually race, although it may not seem that long on the calendar, is certainly long enough that you can't focus on that event the whole time. And having that focus on your event for the whole time could lead to potential overtraining and other issues, especially mental focus, that can really impact your ability to train when it matters most. So let's talk a little bit about what the ideal marathon cycle is. Working backwards from race day, the last 12 weeks of your training are sort of the ideal marathon-focused training. Inside Marathon Nation, we have our 12-week plan, 3 months. This is where we take the fitness that you have, you've been building over the course of the year or from previous races, whatever it may be, and we drive that into a marathon-specific program, into some key long runs and other tempo workouts that are going to build the strength and fitness you need to be able to achieve your goals on race day. Once you move outside of that 12-week window, then some flexibility comes up. There are a lot of marathon training plans out there that are 5 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months long. You really don't want to be training for a marathon focused-wise for more than 3 months, and that goes even for you beginners. Again, the focus issue becomes critical in those last few weeks, week 6, week 5, week 4, leading up to your race. Those are going to be big mileage week. They're going to require a lot of focus, and if you burned all that mojo early in the year by doing miles that didn't really matter, you will suffer at the end, and that will cost you dearly. So instead of having you go into that final peak phase with a subpar focus and not an ability to, or rather an inability to achieve goals that you stated for yourself, we back things down a little bit early on. So if you have the luxury of more time than 3 months, then you can start doing some other training. In general, inside Marathon Nation, we recommend that you do an 8-week training program, which we call our Get Fast training. And during this Get Fast training time, it's a lot of shorter, harder intervals focused on improving your 5K, which is our baseline testing metric, and ultimately having you do really high-quality, high-intensity running. This leads to strength development in and of itself. It leads to better form, and mentally you really begin to learn how to pace yourself and learn your fitness levels. There's nothing harder, I think, than gutting out a 2-minute interval when you look at the watch the first time and it says 1:07, and you know you have 53 more seconds to go at this pace, and you gotta push yourself through that wall. All that work is incremental training to get ready for your race. We don't do lots of long, slow training before we get to the marathon cycle because that really doesn't challenge your body very much, and is so similar to the training that you'll be doing in preparation for your race day that you don't really gain any benefit from switching energy systems or muscle groups. So instead of going with a longer program that's very light overall and very, very gradual and progressive building up to your race, I encourage you to look at those previous weeks before week 12 as an opportunity to build some fitness and strength by doing a 5K or a 10K or a fun run. Get that in somewhere in the ideal neighborhood of 6 to 8 weeks. Inside Marathon Nation, we have 8-week training plans. So you've got your 12 weeks to race, and then you've got this sort of 4 weeks of focus time and 2 cycles of 4 if you can. So you have 8 weeks of cycle time in the Get Faster side of things. And that's an opportunity to really kind of build up some speed and strength. So when you begin to apply the longer distances to your fitness, you will have been in that place recently, whether it's simply physically or also mentally. It'll be a lot easier for you to assume that role and go out there and have a great race based on it. Don't sell yourself short by overbooking yourself before your race, and also don't ruin your race by getting distracted so close to it. The ideal race prep phase, again, is about 12 weeks. This is what most people can stand. It's got your key workouts in there for the most part. Before those 12 weeks, we ideally prefer some speed if you can. Otherwise, even just a basic, consistent week that you can repeat 4, 5, maybe 6 times. That's an opportunity to give you a space where you can build your fitness in a manageable way that's not necessarily goal related, but does become strong and ultimately will lead you to have a better race overall, from the bigger picture things. All right, that's it. Coach Patrick signing off from our second installment of the Beginner Marathon series with the ideal couch to marathon timeline. I'll hopefully answer some of your questions. If not, hit me on Facebook or on Twitter. Happy to answer them there. Sit back, relax, and stay tuned for that next video. I'll see you guys.